I'm having such trouble with my phone. Pray for me. Okay, so Matthew 11:28 through 30. Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. I just think these are the most awesome verses. And it was just, even though there's three, you should have them underlined in your Bible and meditate on them. They're precious. We see 7 instructions here just in these verses. The invitation, which is come to me. The invite specified, all you. The condition, who are weary and burdened. The promise, I will give you rest. The instruction, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. The reason, I am gentle and humble in heart. And the benefit, which is a result, is rest. I feel a lump in my throat coming up. These are just precious. Anybody that has ever been burdened with anything or weary from something in their life, even the sin in your life, these are just the best. So there's two words here I want to, first of all, talk about. Come and me. Jesus says, come to him. Come to me. Come to Jesus. When we run to things, when we're burdened, like spending money and eating, which is what I do, I always feel better after I do those things, but they're temporary. And that's the way of the world. Everything in the world is temporary. He's not talking about coming to religion. It does not say, come to church, all you are heavy laden. You can come to church and meet Jesus, but he doesn't say that. And you should want to go to church, because that's where you get Christian fellowship and draw strength from others who have met Jesus. But if we put all our wishes, desires, and our whole life to Jesus and the giving of ourselves, that's powerful and it's active. So if your kids come to church and then when they turn 18 and they don't go to church, did they ever meet Jesus? We got to teach them that deeper learning. So the specified of the invite is all you. Some people do not think they are worthy and they cannot come to Jesus, especially those who have gotten themselves into a problem or a mess. Queen right here. He doesn't say, come to me, all you who deserve it. That's the enemy's playground. You're correct. We do not deserve anything from God. We come because the invitation has been made. Don't you just feel it? God's tenderness, come to me. So the condition, why we come? Because we're weary and we're burdened. We labor and we're heavy laden. We're stressed out. We can't take it anymore. Heavy laden in the Greek means weighed down or grown weary from heavy toil. Jesus told the Jews that the Pharisees that were burdening him down, everyone with legalism, to come to him. If you're worried from temptations, tragedy, and trials, go to Jesus. He will give you, the next point, rest. It's a promise and it's a result. The strength to go on. Messed up my little thing here. Rest for your soul, emotional rest. Wow. When Jesus makes a promise like this, rest for our souls, he is speaking of fulfillment and contentment. In the Bible, the word rest is one of the first words, Genesis 2:2. We think physical rest. Was God tired because he made, after he made the world, he rested. No, creation was fulfilled and completed, a contentment. Just in Psalms, the favorite Psalms, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I don't believe that type of rest exists in worldliness. The world is the epitome of restlessness. Jesus said demons seek rest and they found none. If you remember that story, the demons even wanted rest. This kind of rest is not natural for us if we have a lack of faith, such as Hebrews 4:1-2. So what more pleasant thought is there than rest? I want rest from my weariness, rest from my weariness of my sin in my life. I want rest from the things that burden me and bother me. Emotionally. Do we not have some baggage nowadays? Tragedy. We all have tragedy in our lives. A rest from that. And what about that beautiful song, Coming to Me? What would be cool is if when I go to church tomorrow, we somebody picks that and we sing it. The song leader, I hope he picks it, because that song is it's just so precious, just like these verses. So the last thing we're going to talk about is yoke. Yoke is without freedom. You think of oxen and the yoke of oxen. So we don't want to think of a yoke as something that's awful and burdensome, but we do not need to go to sin. We have a freedom to do so, but it's not something we should do. Jesus will get us through. Put on his yoke and love his guidance. My yoke is easy and my burden's light. Come unto me. I recently heard a woman, and I've never been a part of this, but she was speaking. She'd been going through a horrible thing in her life, and she spoke in tongues, and then she interpreted it herself. But you know what? I felt chills. I felt chills because I knew she was going through something horrible. And when she interpreted it, she said, come unto me, come unto me. I knew that she had a horrible burden. And when she spoke, and I've never been a follower of that, but I'm not going to judge that. I'm not going to be skeptical. For myself, I don't have that gift. And we'll talk about that someday when we get to Acts. But when she interpreted it and said, come unto me, for the first time when I've heard that, I really felt it was real. So I've been doing some studying, some soul searching on that. It was real. And Jesus was just telling her, come unto me with your burden. My yoke is easy. See you next week.